Welcome back to Mental Crown, the channel dedicated to empowering you to master your mindset and reclaim your inner peace. Today, we're diving deep into a truth that, once understood, can fundamentally shift your entire life. It's a truth about peace. In the fast paced, high stakes world, it's incredibly easy to feel like your peace is constantly under siege. Deadlines, anxiety, demanding people pushing your boundaries, family members applying pressure, and the endless stream of notifications screaming for your attention. You might wake up feeling calm, but by midday, that sense of tranquility has vanished, replaced by stress, urgency, or even dread. It often feels like the world, or at least your world, is actively taking your peace from you. But what if I told you that wasn't true? What if I told you that nobody, no situation, no demanding family members or bosses or market crash, no crisis can never truly take your peace from you? Think about that for a moment. If you've lost your peace, if that calm equilibrium has slipped away, it's for one main profound reason. You have surrendered it. You have perhaps unknowingly handed it over. This isn't about blame, it's about empowerment. It's about recognizing where your true power lies. Let's unpack this. We often perceive peace as something external, a byproduct of perfect circumstances. I'll be peaceful when this project is over, or I'll find peace when my business hits that revenue target, or I'll feel calm when the market stabilizes. This externalization is precisely where the surrender begins. When we tie our internal state to external conditions, we give away our agency. We become a ship tossed by every wave rather than the captain steering through the storm. Consider these common scenarios in a professional's life where peace is often surrendered. Maybe the pressure to please. You say yes to an impossible deadline because you fear disappointing a client or a superior, even though you know it will stretch you thin and erode your well-being. You surrender your peace for perceived approval. Maybe it's the pursuit of perfection. You endlessly tweak a presentation or a report, consumed by the fear of imperfection, even though it's good enough. The pursuit of flawless outcomes becomes an internal torment, and you surrender your peace to an unattainable ideal. The echo chamber of external validation. You constantly check your social media metrics or your likes, or you compare your success to others, and you depend on external praise for your work. When those metrics dip or others seem ahead, your peace crumbles. You surrender it to the fickle winds of external opinion. The addiction to urgency. Everything feels like an emergency. You constantly react, jump from one crisis to another, and wear busyness as a badge of honor. You surrender your peace to a self-created treadmill of urgency, believing productivity equals peace, when often the opposite is true. In each of these instances, peace isn't stolen, it's relinquished, it's given away. It's a choice, conscious or unconscious, to trade your internal calm for something else, perceived security, approval, control, or an imagined future state. The beautiful, empowering truth is that you surrendered it, and you can reclaim it. Your peace is an internal resource, a cornerstone of your mental crown, and it's always accessible. Reclaiming it begins with a radical shift in perspective, understanding that your inner state is primarily dictated by your response to external events, not the events themselves. This is where the concept of the mental crown truly comes alive. Your mental crown isn't just a symbol of power. It's a representation of your sovereignty over your inner world. When you allow external forces to dictate your peace, you effectively hand over your crown. Reclaiming it means taking back that sovereignty. So you may be asking, how do we stop surrendering and start reclaiming? It's a practice, not a one-time event. Here are some actionable strategies for you to guard your mental crown and protect your peace. First, cultivate radical presence and awareness. The first step in not surrendering your peace is to recognize when you are about to surrender it. This requires presence. When a stressful message lands in your inbox, do you immediately spiral into anxiety or do you pause? When a meeting goes sideways, do you instantly internalize it as a personal failure or can you observe it? Practice mindful pauses throughout your day. Before reacting, take a deep breath. Notice the physical sensation of stress and racing thoughts. Acknowledge them, but don't automatically become them. This creates a tiny gap between stimulus and response, a gap where you can choose not to surrender your peace. Second, establish and enforce non negotiable boundaries. We often struggle with boundaries, fearing they'll be seen as being uncommitted or uncooperative. But a lack of boundaries is an open invitation for others to erode your peace. This means setting clear expectations for your availability. Like, I'll respond within 24 hours, not immediately after 10 p.m. It means learning to say no to invitations or commitments that don't align with your priorities or capacity. It means protecting your personal time for rest, rejuvenation, and family. Your boundaries are not walls to keep others out. They are guardians protecting your inner peace. Third, reframe challenges as opportunities, not threats. The business world is rife with challenges. The real world will be challenging. A market downturn, a family emergency, a failed pitch, a child's bad project. If we view these as threats to our peace, we will constantly be in a state of alarm. Instead, consciously reframe them. A setback isn't a sign of failure, it's data for improvement. A difficult conversation isn't a personal attack, it's an opportunity for cleaner communication. This reframing shifts your internal narrative from victimhood to agency, from surrender to strategic response. Your peace isn't contingent on a smooth path, but on your ability to navigate the bumps with grace and resilience. Fourth, detach from outcomes, focus on effort. Results matter, I understand, but an obsessive attachment to specific outcomes can be a significant peace stealer. You can control your effort, your strategy, your preparation, but you cannot control every variable that influences the final outcome. When you pour your energy into an idea, do your best, and then detach from the result. You free yourself from the anxiety of the unknown. Your peace comes from knowing you gave it your all, not from whether you won or lost. This isn't about being passive. It's about releasing the emotional burden of things beyond your control. Last, cultivate a daily practice of reflection and grounding. Just like you schedule meetings and project reviews, schedule time for yourself. This could be 10 minutes of meditation, journaling your thoughts and anxieties, going for a walk in nature, or simply sitting in silence. These practices are not luxuries. They are essential maintenance for your mental ground. They allow you to process the day's events, recenter yourself, and reinforce your internal locus of control. They remind you that you are the architect of your inner peace, not merely a recipient of external circumstances. Now, you might be thinking, look, that sounds great for my personal life, but how does this help me succeed in a cutthroat environment? The answer is profoundly simple. Inner peace is not a weakness, it is your ultimate strategic advantage. When you operate from a place of peace, you are a clear thinker. Your decisions aren't clouded by panic or reactions. You see solutions where others see only problems. You're a more effective leader. You inspire calm and confidence in your team, even amidst chaos. You lead with intentionality, not anxiety. You are more resilient. As setbacks don't derail you, they become a learning opportunity. You bounce back faster and stronger. You're more creative, more innovative. Your mind is free from the clutter of constant worry, allowing new ideas and breakthroughs to emerge. Also, you're less prone to burnout. You sustain high performance over the long term because you're not constantly draining your internal reserves. Imagine someone who remains centered when a major deal falls through, who calmly strategizes when there are shifts unexpectedly. They can lead their team through uncertainty with a steady hand. This isn't someone immune to challenges. It's someone who understands that their peace is an internal fortress, not an external handout. They wear their mental crown with unwavering resolve. Remember, your peace is an invaluable asset, far more precious than any report or accolade. It is the foundation upon which sustainable success, genuine fulfillment, and true leadership are built. Nobody can take it from you. You might surrender it, but the power to reclaim it, to guard it fiercely, lies entirely within you. So as you navigate the demands of your life, even your professional life, ask yourself, am I allowing this situation to take my peace, or am I unknowingly surrendering it? And how can I, right now, reclaim my mental crown and guard the peace that is inherently mine? Thanks for joining me on Mental Crown today. Keep shining brightly, keep leading with purpose, and never, ever surrender your peace.